Hi, this is Margaret from Wild About Herbs. Let's talk about the art and craft of foraging today. But first of all, a quick reminder that in the comments box below, you will see a link to my course. I'd love you to join me. And until the end of September 2022, it's half price. You can also follow me on Facebook, where I'm very active, and I have a Facebook group, which is a great place to ask questions. But let's go back to foraging. Just a fantastic topic because it's growing and growing in interest at the moment, and rightly so. Foraging is a great opportunity to get out into the fresh air and into nature, to connect to nature and learn about plants. It's so much fun, but there are several really, really essential rules when you're foraging. I see foraging becoming an amateur forager as a contract with nature to be respectful at all times. It's a two-way relationship. Foraging is never ever about going out there and just taking vast quantities of herbs. It's always about that contract that now I'm a forager, I'm going to care for the plants as much as anything else. There's times to go out and come back with nothing, but just to observe, to learn, to connect with the plants. That's part of being a herbalist. The number one rule when you are picking plants is to only pick what you're 100% absolutely sure you know how to identify correctly. Don't start trying to find hundreds of different plants. Start with one. That was the advice I got when I first learned to start foraging. Just learn about one simple, easy, safe herb and build your confidence, build your skills in foraging. Plants have so many virtues and benefits. You really don't need hundreds of them. Just for example, nettle, getting to really know nettle, you will learn so much. Nettle has so many benefits. So look for the plants around you. Learn one or learn two at a time. Never pick a plant you're not 100% sure. There are really toxic, poisonous plants out there, and it's easy to make a mistake. Learn also what plants look like at different times of the year and different growing conditions. Beginning foraging is all about observation and building experience. Respect nature, protect biodiversity. I keep saying this, but I just cannot emphasize enough the responsibility that comes with harvesting and wild harvesting and foraging. When you go foraging, it's not only about the plant you're looking for, it's all the other plants around. Plants work together in an ecosystem. By pulling out one plant, you could be destroying that ecosystem. That plant might be essential for specific insects or birds or other little animals and creatures. So you're trampling in their home, and we have to do it with great sensitivity. Please only take a small amount of herbs. I've so often heard it said, oh, take only a third. That's crazy. The person coming after you could also take a herb, a third, and the person after that, and then there are none left. That's how plants become extinct. And there are lots and lots of herbs on the endangered list. Please be aware of endangered plants too when you're harvesting. Encourage foraging in your own backyard. Rewild your garden and encourage weeds. I so often find that the most important plants to us are the plants that grow in our immediate vicinity. If you have any garden space at all, let part of it, or preferably even a big part of it, just go wild and see what comes up. There's so many medicinal herbs that we call weeds. Learn about them rather than exotic, unusual herbs in the wild which could be endangered. Just basic safe herbs which grow around us and, as I said, are often called weeds. Foraging in your own garden is so satisfying. Here's some essential rules about what to take with you. First of all, a basket or container. I love baskets. They make me feel like a real herbalist and a real forager when I go off with a basket. Baskets also have a weave which allow insects and soil and so on to fall through. Take a pair of scissors, secateurs, or a sharp knife. There are plants that have slightly woodier, harder parts, and you can damage them by just pulling at them or tearing them off. You want to make sure that you have not damaged the plant when you cut it. Take a camera or a phone or a sketchbook and a notebook. You can That's a great way just to build again your experience and your knowledge. If you're autistic, or even if you're not autistic, it's great to actually sketch the plant. You learn far more about it than by taking a photograph. Take a field guide or a plant app. Plant apps are great, but please don't rely on them 100% for identification. I use a plant app called PlantNet, but I use it usually just for confirming. When I see a plant and I think, could that be XYZ? I check it out on my plant app, but I never ever rely on it totally because, again, remember what I said in the beginning, there are toxic plants out there. Don't harvest near a road or farm where the fields could be sprayed with chemicals. Near to busy roads, there can be lots of traffic fumes and pollution. Be careful also where dog walkers commonly walk. I know these are basic and obvious, but it's easy to forget them. Just be aware of where you are when you're harvesting. Ask permission of the plant. Herbalists ask permission, and you'll be amazed how often you feel the plant responding. This sounds very woo-woo and new agey, but the more you get to know plants, the more you see this as a reality and experience. There are days where the plants are just saying, oh no, I don't want to be harvested. Leave me alone today. And I find that even in my own garden, there's days where I just know that it's not a good day for picking. There is, of course, the usual guidelines for any harvesting of harvesting on a nice, dry, sunny day, etc. There'll be another video about that. Thank you so much for respecting nature, for respecting and honoring the herbs and caring for biodiversity. There's never been a more important time than learning about our wild herbs, learning which herbs are out there and their benefits and their virtues. But there's also never ever been a more important time for respecting nature. Enjoy your foraging journey, and I'll see you again on this channel.